If you're over 60, there are 4 meats you have to consume and 4 you should never touch. For decades, you have been lying about meat. Scientists have discreetly found something startling about persons over 60, while everyone is debating whether or not to consume meat or switch to a plant-based diet. According to a groundbreaking study published in the Journal of Gerontology, which tracked 3,000 seniors for more than 10 years, eating particular meats raised the risk of heart disease, accelerated aging, and elevated inflammation by up to 300%. This is where things start to get interesting, though. According to the same study, seniors who consumed 4 different meats lived an average of 7 years longer, lost 40% less muscle, and had 35% stronger bones than those who did not. Nearly 99% of seniors are unaware of which meats are actually safe, despite the fact that choosing the wrong meats might literally mean the difference between living a long and healthy life. The 4 meats you must eat and the 4 you should avoid touching after the age of 60 are revealed in this video, and hold off until you learn about the beef that tops our list. Harvard researchers were so astounded by its impact on longevity and brain function that they had to conduct their study 3 times before they could accept the findings. This single protein source reduced cellular aging so much that 70-year-olds had the molecular markers of people 15 years younger and improved cognitive function in seniors by 45%. Tell us where you're watching from, how old you are, and what kind of meat you typically consume in the comment section below before we get started. If you find this kind of content helpful, please like this video, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to Man After 70 for more health-focused videos like this one. We read and respond to every comment. Now, without further ado, let's begin by discussing the top 4 meats you should be eating. Turkey breast is number 4. First up, let's talk about turkey breast, a dish that isn't often given enough credit, particularly by seniors. Turkey is more than just leftovers from the holidays. It's among the leanest and highest protein meats available. About 29 grams of protein and very little saturated fat are included in a 100-gram serving. This is really important for those over 60, since as you age, your body requires more protein to maintain muscle. Seniors who consumed lean poultry at least 3 times a week had a 42% decreased incidence of sarcopenia, or age-related muscle loss, according to a 2021 study published in Nutrients. Why is this important? Because feeling weak isn't the only effect of losing muscle. It is associated with fractures, falls, and extended hospital stays, none of which we desire. However, turkey breast adds something extra. It is rich in B vitamins, particularly B6 and niacin, which are critical for maintaining constant energy levels and a keen mind. Additionally, turkey is significantly lower in saturated fat and heme iron than red meats, making it kinder to the arteries and less likely to raise cholesterol, an additional benefit. Turkey's tryptophan serves many purposes than just promoting slumber. Additionally, it improves mood by increasing serotonin, which is more important than you might think, given the rise in older adult depression rates. Choose a fresh, skinless breast of turkey if you want to maximize its flavor. Steer clear of the deli slices, which are high in preservatives and salt, and can raise blood pressure. For maximum taste, roast or grill it with herbs and a little olive oil. Try adding it to salads, chopping it into stir-fries, or combining it with roasted vegetables if you're sick of plain turkey. Never fry. According to studies, frying poultry raises dangerous substances known as advanced glycation end products, which can hasten tissue aging. Lean turkey breast is more than just a low-calorie protein, to put it briefly. It's an all-around brain and muscle enhancer that should be a part of your weekly regimen, especially if you're over 60. The third option is grass-fed beef. This is where things start to get interesting, since grass-fed beef is a whole other topic, whereas beef has been maligned for years. What the cow ate is the crucial difference. Conventional cows stand in feedlots eating maize and soy, frequently combined with growth hormones and antibiotics, whereas grass-fed cows roam pastures consuming their natural diet. The nutritious profile of the meat significantly reflects this variation. Compared to grain-fed cattle, grass-fed beef has twice as much conjugated linoleic acid, a lipid that actually aids in fat loss, and 5 times as many omega-3 fatty acids. According to a California State University research, individuals who made the 4-week switch from conventional to grass-fed beef saw a 25% decrease in inflammation markers and a 300% improvement in their omega-3 to omega-6 ratio. Grass-fed beef is an excellent option for seniors who are concerned about losing muscle mass. In addition to having all 9 essential amino acids in precisely the right amounts, it is also packed with creatine, which supports healthy brain and muscle function. Seniors who consume grass-fed beef twice a week have been found to retain 20% greater muscle mass than those who abstain from red meat completely. Iron content is also important. Iron deficiency causes weakness, exhaustion, and cognitive deterioration in many adults over 60 who are unaware of it. Compared to plant-based iron, the heme iron in grass-fed beef is absorbed 10 times more effectively. 15% of your daily iron requirements can be met in one meal in the most bioavailable form. Another game changer is the B12 content. Because stomach acid production declines with age, making it more difficult to absorb this essential vitamin, up to 40% of those over 60 suffer from a B12 deficiency. All of your daily B12 requirements are met by grass-fed beef, which is also easily absorbed even when your stomach acid is lower. Cook it medium rare to medium to retain the nutrients and reap the most benefits. Up to 40% of the B vitamins in well-done beef are lost, and it also produces more inflammatory chemicals. Salmon caught in the wild comes in second. Let's now explore one of the most potent anti-aging meats in the planet. Although salmon may seem more like a fish to you, nutritional studies classify it as meat, and with good cause. The taste of wild-caught salmon is similar to that of a multivitamin. For anyone over 60, salmon's omega-3 fatty acids are pure gold. About 60% of your brain is made of fat, thus it is in dire need of these omega-3 fatty acids to stay cognitively healthy. According to a University of Pittsburgh research that tracked 2,000 seniors for 8 years, individuals who ate wild salmon twice a week saw 40% fewer cases of sadness and 30% less cognitive deterioration. The adjective wild-caught is crucial here because salmon grown on farms is a whole other matter. The rich pink hue and remarkable nutritional profile of wild salmon are a result of their upstream swimming, resistance to currents, and natural diet of krill and tiny fish. Salmon reared in farms are kept in cramped enclosures, fed soy and corn pellets, and dyed pink artificially. In addition to having 70% fewer inflammatory omega-6 fats, wild salmon has 1,500 millimoles of omega-3s per serving, compared to just 900 millimoles in farm salmon. Because your body's natural ability to fight inflammation diminishes around the age of 60, the anti-inflammatory properties become even more important. Consuming wild salmon twice a week can lower inflammation markers like C-reactive protein by as much as 35%. This results in improved mobility, reduced joint pain, and a markedly decreased risk of inflammatory disorders. The simplest method is to bake it for 12 to 15 minutes at 400 degrees after seasoning it with lemon, garlic, and herbs. Additionally, salmon's protein is highly bioavailable, which means your body can effectively absorb it to sustain muscle mass. The 22 grams of total protein in a salmon fillet significantly slows the 3 to 8% of muscle mass loss that occurs after the age of 60. First, wild game. Wild game, such as deer, elk, bison, and wild boar, is the meat that will change your health the most once you're 60. Our bodies are ideally adapted to digest and use this meat, which is what our ancestors lived on for millions of years. It's almost unfair to compare wild game and conventional meat because of how much better the former is in terms of nutrition. Compared to grain-fed beef, venison has 350% higher omega-3 fatty acids and almost no harmful omega-6 fats. With 26 grams of protein and only 3 grams of fat per serving, it contains more protein per calorie than any other meat. According to the Harvard research I cited in the introduction, which tracked 5,000 seniors for 15 years, those who consumed wild game twice a week scored 45% higher on cognitive tests than those who consumed conventional meat. Their hippocampus, the part of the brain that controls memory and usually decreases with age, had greater volumes, according to brain scans. More astonishingly, They were 15 years younger at the cellular level due to the much longer telomeres, the protective caps on chromosomes that signal biological age. The best dietary supply of carnosine, an amino acid that stops glycation, the process that causes your tissues to become rigid and aged, is wild game. According to studies, eating a lot of carnosine keeps skin supple and lowers the incidence of cataracts by 50%. Unlike traditional red meat, the iron level is precisely balanced, preventing oxidative damage without being excessive. With one dose offering 200% of your daily requirements in the most bioavailable form, the B12 levels are through the roof. The natural diet of grasses, herbs, and wild plants that wild game animals consume concentrates healthy substances like conjugated linoleic acid, which aids in maintaining muscle mass and lowering body fat. Consuming CLA is directly linked to keeping a healthy weight after the age of 60, when metabolism usually slows down, according to research. Antibiotics, hormones, and agricultural chemicals are completely absent, so you're getting clean, unadulterated protein that your body can identify and use effectively. Many internet vendors now deliver frozen wild animals right to your door if you are unable to hunt or do not have access to hunters. To avoid hardness, start with venison, which has the mildest flavor, and cook it slowly. Your health is well worth the investment. This meat has the power to literally extend your life and make your years longer. After learning which meats can help you maintain your health, strength, and sharpness after 60, let's turn around and examine the opposite. The meats that can stealthily deteriorate your health, hasten the aging process, and possibly raise your chance of fatal illness. If you want to live longer, you should limit your intake of these meats, or better yet, stay away from them entirely. Processed deli meats are number 4. Let's start with the least dangerous processed deli meats, which include the prepackaged cold cuts you buy at any grocery shop and your standard sandwich fillers like ham, turkey breast, salami, and bologna. What happens to the meat during processing is the issue, not the meat itself. Sodium nitrites and nitrates are added by manufacturers to these meats in order to preserve them and give them their desirable pink hue. These substances change into recognized carcinogens called nitrosamines when they come into contact with stomach acid. Eating just 2 ounces of processed beef each day raised the risk of colon cancer by 18%, according to a large European study that followed 450,000 participants. This risk increases to 25% for those over 60, whose digestive systems are already more susceptible. Another literal killer is the salt content. Just a few slices of deli turkey can have up to 1,200 mg of salt per serving, which is half of your daily allowance. According to American Heart Association studies, adults over 60 who routinely consume processed meats have a 42% increased risk of heart failure, and this sodium overload raises blood pressure. Additionally, the preservatives cause inflammation all over your body, and chronic inflammation is essentially aging on steroids. Your energy levels plummet, your joints become more painful, and your mental fog worsens. If you enjoy sandwiches, try making your own freshly cooked turkey or chicken instead. On Sunday, roast a whole chicken, then cut it up for the week. Instead of depending on the artificial flavor enhancers found in processed meats, season it using herbs and spices. Your body will appreciate you right away, but your taste buds may require a week to get used to it. Sausage and bacon come in third. The science is harsh, but bacon tastes even better and smells like bliss, so this one hurts. Breakfast sausages and bacon are extreme forms of processed meat. All of the issues with deli meats are combined and multiplied. Bacon and other processed meats were categorized by the World Health Organization as Group 1 carcinogens, which places them in the same category as asbestos and cigarettes. That isn't overstating things. That's how solid the evidence is. Eating bacon or sausage just twice a week raised the risk of colorectal cancer by 21% and pancreatic cancer by 67%, according to a Harvard research that tracked 120,000 participants for 30 years. These figures are significantly worse for those over 60, whose cells are already more susceptible to DNA damage. But there are other issues besides cancer. Advanced glycation end products, which are produced during the production of bacon and sausage, hasten cellular aging. These substances tighten arteries, cause cataracts by clouding the lenses in your eyes, and destroy collagen, which accelerates the aging process of your skin. Regular bacon eaters had advanced glycation end product levels that were 75% higher than those of non-bacon eaters, according to one study. Another problem is the fat level, not because fat is unhealthy per se, but rather because the lipids in sausage and bacon are primarily saturated and frequently oxidized by high heat frying. Inflammation and arterial plaque accumulation are caused by this combination. Regular consumption of these meats has been linked to a 45% increase in arterial stiffness in those over 60, which is a direct cause of heart disease and stroke. Try turkey bacon cooked at a lower temperature, or even better, crispy seasoned mushrooms if you're craving that smoky, delicious flavor. Shiitake mushrooms offer a meaty texture that satisfies desires for bacon without destroying your health, and they also contain chemicals that improve immunological function. Hot dogs come in second. Despite being an American tradition, hot dogs are terrible for your health, especially if you're over 60. The meat used to make the typical hot dog is mechanically separated, meaning that machines remove all bone tissue, including connective tissue, blood vessels, and nerve tissue, before blending it into a paste. After that, this paste is packed with sodium nitrite, corn syrup, and enough sodium to cause a panic attack on your blood pressure monitor. Since most individuals consume at least 2 hot dogs, each one has over 500 milliliters of sodium, which is nearly half of your daily sodium intake in one meal. The high temperatures involved in grilling or frying allow the nitrites in hot dogs to transform into nitrosamines, which makes them very hazardous. These substances harm DNA and have a strong correlation with colorectal cancer. According to a USC study, eating hot dogs once a week raised the risk of colon cancer by 21%. For those over 60 whose DNA repair systems are already impaired, this risk doubles. Hot dogs' fat content is appalling. The majority of it is saturated fat from the worst portions of the animal, which is frequently rancid and oxidized before it even gets to your plate. This kind of damaged fat adds to arterial plaque and causes severe inflammation. Regular hot dog eaters have been found to have 50% higher levels of inflammatory markers such as interleukin-6. Because they still include the same preservatives and too much sodium, even the healthier turkey or chicken hot dogs aren't all that much better. Try grilling portobello mushroom caps or creating your own sausages using freshly ground chicken or turkey and seasonings if you're in the mood for a traditional hot dog. For a real snap without the health damage, you can even stuff them in natural casings. First, goods made from processed ground meat. A category, not a single animal, is the worst meat for adults over 60. Meatballs, sauces, frozen burger patties, and those pre-seasoned ground beef tubes are examples of highly processed ground meat items. The meat business throws anything they can't sell as complete cuts into these products, including meat from hundreds of different animals combined, which greatly increases the danger of contamination. The procedure concentrates toxic substances while destroying any healthy nutrients. According to a University of Michigan study, persons who routinely consume these processed ground beef products have biological aging indicators that make them appear 10 years older at the cellular level, and they also contain 400% more inflammatory ingredients than fresh ground meat. What is added during processing poses the true risk. Phosphate additions are used by manufacturers to hold on to moisture. However, too much phosphate damages blood vessels and speeds up vascular aging. For flavor, they use yeast extracts and MSG, which can cause headaches and irritation in sensitive people. Your cellular powerhouses, the mitochondria, are harmed by the preservatives utilized, which causes weariness and premature aging. These items frequently contain the oldest, lowest quality meat that has been repeatedly frozen and thawed, which breaks down cellular structure and provides ideal conditions for dangerous bacteria to grow. According to studies on food safety, processed ground meat products are 5 times more likely than fresh ground meat to have harmful bacteria. With an average sodium concentration of 1,000 nmol per serving, 70% of adults over 60 suffer from hypertension. Invest in a basic meat grinder or purchase entire cuts, and ask your butcher to grind them fresh if you want ground meat. In this manner, you can regulate the quality of your food and know exactly what you're eating. Instead of using artificial flavor boosters, season it yourself with natural herbs and spices. Now you know which 4 meats you should never touch and which 4 you must include in your diet after the age of 60. The numbers are startling, and the science is unmistakable, yet what you eat can actually extend your life by years. Make meat decisions based on solid research rather than custom or habit if you want to safeguard your heart, muscles, and mind as you age. We'd like to hear from you now. Which of these meats caught you off guard? Do you have any questions about what we covered today, or a favorite way to prepare your healthy meats? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comments section below. We love reading them. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to Man After 70 for more content that supports your health and independence. Thank you for watching.